Hey, welcome to the Clarity Cafe. If it's your first time, welcome and happy new year. I'm Josh, and I do these every Friday. Just it's open, and because I'm a medium and I provide intuitive guidance, and it's kind of in the health and wellness world. So if it's your first time, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. Um, I've been recording these every Friday. I put up in the community a question, a poll see what days, what times, like weekdays, AM, PM, weekends, AM, PM work better. So once I find that out, I think I'm going to adjust it to a weekend because I think 11 on Fridays, it's not always working that great. So that's my thought on that. And I want to wish you a happy new day. I'm not a big fan. I'll be straight up honest that January 1st is not the new year because it's the middle of winter. Things are pulling in. The sap from a tree is pulling in. It's reviewing, it's reflecting, it's building energy, it's saving. It's like bears going to hibernation. It's just this isn't a natural evolutionary part of even the equinox and it's all kind of you could say. So uh April 1st, spring. That's why they call it April 1st, right? April Fool's Day is because that was the original day and they changed it. Well, the Vatican changed it. But that's a whole other story, right? There's so many rabbit holes we could jump down, and my gosh, they're everywhere at this point. I hope this day, this time of year brings joy, health, especially health, happiness, abundance, prosperity, awareness, all the good stuff, all the good juicy stuff that is our birthright, and we just have to tap into. And I really hope that's happening for you. Um, so with that, looks like another solo mission today, but that's okay. I'm tuning in to a topic or a subject, especially during the winter. I think a lot of people I've seen around are having challenges with their health. From different types of microbes, bacterias that are in the air, uh, and certain natural elements, not always medicating, to suppress, right, the whatever the little bug is, and all these buzzwords that are out there. And let's just say this: words are encryptions, okay, and they cast spells. And so in the word of dis-ease, which means if I logically deduce it, I'm not going to pull up a dictionary term for it, but dis, something is not in alignment. We are disoriented. We are not we, the term, let me rephrase that, is off. But why is it off? What is the cause of something being off? It's too early, I think, a lot of people, because it's just the program. It's sort of like a hive mentality. If you go up in a family that used a certain protocol, or they get medicines, then one tends to continue to follow that path without really questioning things, right? Always question authority. Let's use critical thinking. Look at this, look at this. Let's compare the two. Then we throw in, ready for this thing called intuition. Yeah, you have it. Yeah. Feeling, emotion, right? Now, it's important because those thoughts, those little internal guidance systems really help you, me, us, to locate the cause, the point of origin of a problem, right? And it was funny. I was just watching the other day Dr. Tom Cowan, and he was saying that there are really all these labels. And I tend to agree with him. He was saying that all diseases are choice. Now, I know that's sort of a bold, brass, cold, maybe statement to make. And it's like it's victim mentality. I'm not going to name, but I have this. See, look at this. I have this. I'll tell you a story that relates to this. I had a buddy named Alfredo, great guy, really smart, brilliant guy. And if you're watching, Alfredo, let's connect. I don't think he's in the group, but he's originally from Italy by way of South Africa. I did that wrong. No, that's Australian. Um, but anyway, I was working with him many years ago when I lived in Marina Del Rey in California, and uh, we were doing some work together, energetic work, and he had reflected because he does postural alignment. He's a naturopath. I don't know if he's still practicing, but he's a naturopath. And he had a client. He had this woman, and this woman had this crick in her neck. Right? She'd had it for years. Okay, and everything about this woman, right? Her disability, the people, that everything, her life was surrounded or based upon her disability, right? Every person, the care that she got, the medication she got, the doctor visits, all the support systems were based around her thing, her, her postural misalignment. So Alfredo goes there one day, works on her, makes some adjustments, right? And he told me what happened. He corrected the issue she had. And what really surprised him was she was so upset. She figured she was just going to keep going, getting these sessions, getting hands-on connection with another human being, and that was going to be it. Now I'm just I'm not paraphrasing, I'm just basing what he told me about the story, okay? So stay with me. So he ends up telling me this, this story of what happened. And for him, he was absolutely shocked. He was like, this is what I do. This is what I'm trying to do. I helped her. Not that I was expecting her to have confetti and, like throw a parade for me, but it was like, and she was so miserable. And then what I got from it, I explained it to him. I said, Alfredo, do you realize her whole life for however many years was based around the care, the attention, the focus, everything she did was around her dysfunction, right? So the point of me sharing this story is many people take on an identity to whatever their issue, the problem is, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, psychological, right? And then they tell their story. It's almost like a badge of honor or dishonor. You wear this badge and you go around, and maybe you don't do it outwardly, but inwardly, you navigate your life because you have this thing, or you think your mind, your subconscious is running this loop that you have this issue. And all it takes is just a shift in focus to reassess, right? That's what the winter is. Speaking of new year, you're going inward, you're reflecting, you're refining, you're redefining, you're realigning, you're setting up your true north, your true trajectory, okay? And that's outside of all the other, mechanisms that are happening planetarily, cosmically, galactically, energetically, and how we are all affected by those, whether we believe it or not, care about it or not. In one way, shape, or form, you are affected by it. So it behooves you, in my opinion, to tune in, right? Inward reflection for outer direction. And it can be pretty amazing. It is. I'm trying to think of situations that I've gone through or you start and nothing happens. But as long as you continue down the path, it's sort of like going to the gym, right? You work out. At first, you're not doing the heavy weights. You're not seeing any results. But after a few days, a week, a month, you begin, it's just part of the process here on planet Earth. Now we can shorten the processes, not by biohacking, but I think a lot by communicating with our own higher parts. Now, depending on where you're at on that journey, that's the way I look at it. And that's what this community is about. So there are different components of ourselves at different stations of identity. And it's opening up the conduit. It's like right now it may be stuck, so we want to pierce it open so that line of energy through the central vertical column is coming in, down, right? I don't even say up or down, left or right. I'm just giving you a focus, a framework to look within, right? So you have your crown chakra, the pineal, right? All the different chakras, the 7 main chakras, but there's actually 15. They're called morphogenetic chakras. But that's a chat for another day. And once you open these, you begin to get a clear line of communication, and it's you. You're basically channeling your own higher self, right? Not some entity or gestalt of consciousness out in the astral field. It's all you vertically. And let's bring this back to what we're talking about, the words, the casting of spells, and people during this time of the year. It's not just this time of the year, but disease and or problems or chronic conditions. And part of what I do when I work with clients is we look at everything, right? So it's like there could be an issue that somebody has that they haven't looked at, and that's what I love doing. Is I love looking at the things unseen in the spaces and spaces in between. And that's how we're able to shorten the distance. And so sometimes when a window opens up, all of a sudden it's like if you've been in darkness, all of a sudden you open up a window and you look outside and you're like, oh my God, the sky, the trees, I didn't know they were there, right? And that's kind of what it's like sometimes. These things have been happening all around you and you've just never really noticed it. There's nothing wrong. There's no judgment. It's just like, but it's great when someone or something in your reality reflects back to you something that you may not have considered. And you may not have considered, and I'm speaking from experience because my ego was involved. I was too sensitive. I'm stubborn, right? All of these things are sort of survival mechanisms. I wouldn't say preventative, thought or thinking. But inevitably, if we keep doing that, it's like that's where disease comes in. Because I've always said, right? It's 5 pillars. It's energetic, spiritual, emotional, mental, and the last place something shows up is physical. So even the simplest things, a cold, right? On a psychological level, if you work in an office or you're around a group of friends or family and people every year or a certain time of the year, I equate it to when women work in an office. Maybe you've heard this, right? They all tend to align in the same cycle timeline. They could have had it, but now that they're in the same sort of field and shield, they all align. So they all have their cycle at the same time. So it's the same thing. And there's other terms for it. More recently, I've heard they're called pendulums. They're like these thought constructs. They have a life form and they try to penetrate your field and get you to feel and think, like agree with someone or do something that you typically or normally wouldn't do, right? And if you are not grounded and focused in your body, right? It's been said that if you're not going to be in your body, something else will be, right? I'm not saying, well, can be lead to like possession, things taking over. Yes, these things happen. They are real, right? Modern day science, evidential, science doesn't, scientism, they don't show these things. You really have to dig deep. And if you're someone into the esoteric or metaphysical or psychic arts, to a greater or lesser degree, you realize that these things do exist. And, sort of the wool's been pulled over humanity's face about these things for the longest freaking time. So getting back to, lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so the thoughts, the pendulums. So when you walk into a group, say you go to a party, and if you're the type of person that's, say, an introvert, you don't really want to be around a big crowd of people. And I'll even invite people that are familiar with human design, right? We have different types. We have manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. I'm a projector. So we are what are called non-energy types. Manifestors, generators, I believe, are energy types. So the reason I bring that up is like projectors, we're only good around a crowd or a big group. And there's other factors and elements that play into this. I'm just kind of giving you a quick and dirty example here. You go into a room, a crowd of people, you're good for maybe an hour or two. Then you're like, I got to get out. I can't stay here. I got to leave. And so, but when you're in that room or bar or club or an event of some sort of concert, a conference, watch the small groups of people. If you start to talk to them, you either just observe your thoughts. Like, are you agreeing with them? Are you finding yourself shifting? And it's a very fine line, because I'm saying shifting not in a negative or positive way. It's just, let's not label it, but just observe the types of thoughts and things that happen, because your thoughts are in the field. They're not in your head. Okay, they're not. They're in the field. You are a metagalactic fine-tuning broadcasting fucking station. That's you. Okay, you may not know it, but here's dropping the reveal. You are. And there are ways and tools and techniques to open it up and activate it safely. Okay. And so when you're in these groups, there's ways to detect what is your thought, what's not. And if you are aligning with this, right? Now, there's positive, I'll use the word positive, ways to look at things. It's not like you're looking to find something to agree with or disagree with. It's just, where do you align based on how you perceive yourself, your evolutionary journey, right? How do you see yourself? Because most of us, we compare ourselves to people. That's how we judge ourselves. We compare. I'm good at that, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. And the more we compare, the more we go into despair. And you are unique. And I've had to go through this a lot. I still go through it. I'm not perfect at it, but doing social media, being on there, I'll see another creator and influencer, like, wow, I should try that, or man. But before I make that assessment or that observation or judgment, it comes back to me: self-love, self-accountability, self-awareness. I love me. I'm unique. There could be 20 of us in this, here talking, saying the same thing, but you are going to resonate with someone that resonates with you. It's a frequency alignment. It's a broadcast. So it's your vibe, your tribe, and that's what I'm creating here. And whether that tribe shows up in a week, a day, a month, a year, I don't care. I have no attachment to the outcome. I have no expectation. I'm doing this right now for me. So if you align with it, and this is going to be here on School, and it'll also be uploaded on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, check out the link. I'll drop it below for School. You can join the community. It's free. And very soon there's going to be tiers, not crying tears, levels. So there'll be a subscription based, and there'll be 2 different levels. There'll be a free, a middle, and another one where I'm going to be putting that together, and I'll be talking about that more, but that's aside. So yeah, so these are the things that really make quite a difference when it comes to the thoughts that you have, the things that you feel, and how you draw it to you. I guess the topic today is basically word casting, word spell, and how that relates to our I want to say our psychic ability, but also our overall health and wellness, because that really makes a huge difference. When we make these little shifts, you'll find that you don't really require all these extraneous tools, i.e., psychiatrist, psychologist. And this isn't medical advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. I have to make that disclaimer, right? I caught myself saying that, making this claim. Words just have so many different meanings, especially the English language. And so it's important, I find, to I need to collect my thoughts, gather, and then distill what comes out of my mouth, what I want to say. And earlier in life, I wasn't so good at that shit. I just let it roll, and if you didn't like it, too bad, so sad. But yeah, so it's important. And uh, the magic of words, and how they affect our overall health and wellness, from everything that we hear, we see on social media. You flip your screen and someone's talking about the hippest, slickest, coolest way to supplement. I mean, there's so many influencers out there now, biohacking, red light therapy, and there's some great things, because I promote products as well. So I'm not excluding myself from this group, but I will definitely make observations of others. And, again, I can find in my observation, my experience, loopholes or things that they're missing. And that's a thing too. When you're watching someone that's a quote unquote, I will never claim I am an expert or I am a master. As long as I'm incarnate in this physical body, I'm in school. Here we are. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm expanding, I'm changing my awareness by being a mentor, a teacher, but also being a student and a pupil, right? It's that flow, that ebb and flow. And so I can be more efficient at something, but what I like to do is share what I'm able to do. And a lot of times this too goes into the metaphysics. A lot of my clairabilities, clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant, clairvoyant. I see, hear, feel, sense, and sometimes smell. But I didn't have any formal training in this life. And everything kind of came on around 99, 98, progressively. Anyway, any thoughts, any ideas, any questions, any comments? You know what to do. Drop below. I will respond to you, answer you. I was thinking of some links and things that I could put up related to this, and I do. I have some interesting articles that I will provide that kind of go along the same topic of discussion today. And I've been noticing while I'm recording this, it's been glitching. It's like the speed is slow, so there's delay. Hopefully the recording comes out fine. I think that's it for today on the Clarity Cafe. Happy New You Day. We're in 2026. This is the year of the fix, I feel. Right? I think a lot of humanity is beginning to see the writing on the wall, the bullshit, the crapola, the just the stuff. It's like enough already. Let's use our consciousness to raise our awareness individually. And if we all do it individually, it's not about the other. I'm not trying to get you to do something. I'm just sharing my experience. And if you get sparked by that and that helps you, then that's, we're delivering that. We're bringing that to the world. It's not being imposed on you or you're told what to do. And this is how we uncover, discover, and discard the bullshit that we no longer subscribe to. And once you become aware, then you take care. I love Wim Hof's quote, be aware, take care, then share. But it comes up so much in things that I'm chatting about. And that is the key, awareness of your words, whether they're external or internal, right? In the field, the thoughts that you have, if you've got a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of hatred, about yourself or others, that is going to be solidified in your body, and it will create something that's not going to be pleasant. And anytime there's a pain and an ache, the body is communicating. That's the body's way of communicating, providing tweak, pains, pings. Sometimes, there are things that happen, but it's all designed in a sense to get your attention and to reflect and redirect your focus, whether it's a lifestyle change, food, your thoughts, getting exercise. Sometimes it's less is more. It's not overdoing something. It's not compounding it and like trying to do 20 different things, right? A great book that I love, I don't have, and I have to go back to it. It's called The One Thing. Keller is his name. I forget his first name. He's the same guy that started Keller Real Estate. Where's that book? But anyway, The One Thing. And I have a quote on my board here that's really great. And I remind myself of this because I tend to go like crazy. I want to do things. So it is, what is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary, right? So what's the one thing I can do right now that's going to make everything else easier or unnecessary? So if I start there, and that starts with my thoughts, you know, I roll off the bed, I sit there, I do some stretching, and I just, because you're still in that subconscious mode, right? You just come out of sleep in the early rising. See, I caught myself again. I don't like to use the word, you know what, because we're not at a funeral. So I call it the grand rising, you know, the AM. So I get out of bed, I just sit there, and I just lately I came across something that was really cool. I'm just going to share this, and then we'll call it a day. It's called the inner smile, right? The inner smile. What's the inner smile? The inner smile is all of your cells. Just think of, I think of like little Pac-Man, whack, 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 or little smiley faces, but everything is smiling at each other. Neurons, brain, skin, lungs, tissue, organs, hair, every cell in your body. That you don't have to think of it, just like every cell. And I just close my eyes and I just see every cell smiling at me, smiling at each other. Just they're all smiling, right? I already feel the skin crystals, man. My hairs are just standing up as I do that. You know, it's fucking great. So I start the day like that, right? I get that inner smile going because usually, you know, once you come out, you know, you're coming out of your dream time and you're getting up. Usually, most people are like focused already. They're not in the present. They're already in the future. Where do I got to go? What do I got to do? The kids, the family, the bank, the business, the just fucking mental masturbation is going on. So take that time, reclaim your energy, ground yourself. Even if you're indoors, you could still ground, send your energy down to the earth and ground. And remind yourself of the words, the thoughts that you're going to use today, right? Pause for the cause. Pause before you speak. This has been a big one for me. Sometimes I'm reactive. I'm just, okay, I'm like that. I've been like, we're all kind of in a way programmed. So it's the deconditioning, which comes back to human design. There's a 7-year deconditioning process. It's like unplugging yourself from the matrix. And then all of a sudden, man, the view becomes wider, right? It's wild. It's a wild ride, life. And I'm all for it, you know? So with that, I'll call it a day. And I hope you have a great day, great year. But I'm going to consider the new part in the 1st of April. What else? Like I said, questions, comments, anything, drop them below. You'll see this on School. And I'm also going to upload this, I think, sort of these Clarity Cafes onto YouTube as well. So that's it. To you, health, happiness, joy, awareness, abundance, all the great things in life that you deserve. It's your birthright. Don't forget it. Cheers.